Welcome back. The story that we started the morning with, retail inflation, CPI, consumer price inflation, has accelerated in July to 6.93% against a CNBC TV18 poll of 6.11. And this also is higher than the June inflation of 6.23. Incidentally, June got revised higher. What is worse, there has been an across-the-board rise in food prices. Food inflation as a whole, 9.7% higher. And anything you touched, milk, eggs, meat, cereals, pulses, vegetables, all of them up between 7 and 17%. So what do we look at in terms of the bond market? The bond yields are higher now at 5.94% for the 10-year, clearly indicating that rate cut expectations seem to have fallen. But let's ask the expert, B. Prasanna, the head of Global Markets Group at ICICI Bank, with us. Good morning, Prasanna. Thank you very much. Rate cuts off. Are we done and dusted for this cycle?
Yeah, so Lata, like you said, inflation has kind of actually surprised all of us from all ends. There was actually no respite. If you look at core inflation, you look at food inflation, you look at services inflation, gold, oil. So whichever way you really cut it, I think there was bad news on the reading front yesterday evening. And even the revision in the previous month has actually come out on the higher side. I mean, so core is almost now 5.4 last time and now almost at 5.9 in this yesterday's reading. So in the last 1 week, I would say it's kind of a double whammy for the market. First, on the policy, though nobody expected a rate cut, people did expect some kind of a duration demand management measures from RBI, which did not come through. And now with this inflation reading, even rate cut expectation seems to be, taking a back seat. So you are right. I think the market needs to reprice the rate cut expectations based on yesterday's reading, not least because of the fact that the RBI themselves actually said in the policy that they want to actually visibly see a durable reduction in inflation, if I think I remember the word. So if that is the case, they actually don't want to take a rate cut call based on expected inflation trajectory, but they actually want to see actual inflation falling down, which means then yesterday's reading becomes important, and we'll have to take a call whether inflation will, the trajectory will really afford RBI to cut rates in the next 2-3 months. It clearly doesn't seem to be the case. So our house view is for RBI to still do a 25 basis point rate cut in the February policy. Our view for Q4 this financial year is still for an average inflation in the region of 4 to 4.4%. So I would assume that that will be the quarter when RBI has an opportunity to cut rates.
Okay, so that's a long pause, Prasanna, that you're talking about, all the way till February, till the next rate cut. But let me ask you this, because now inflation is persistently coming above the 6% mark, do you expect any tweaks at all in terms of the way RBI is managing liquidity? I mean, it has a mandate to keep adequate liquidity in the market, but could there be any changes or any tweaks on the way liquidity management is taking place?
No, I think that's the easy question. I don't think RBI is going to touch on the liquidity. In fact, for them also, they'll be relieved that they are able to achieve a lot of reduction in bond deals through the liquidity route rather than through a rate cut route. So if you have to really look at the repo rate is looked at from an inflation perspective. So if you need to really target inflation at a particular level, then you need to keep repo rate at a particular level. But then RBI has done it smartly by infusing a lot of liquidity and thereby infusing a lot of demand side. I mean, they're using the bank's balance sheet to bring down yields. So that's actually played out. So I don't see a change in their liquidity stance going forward. I think whatever said and done, growth is still a big concern in the minds of policymakers, both the government as well as the Reserve Bank, and I'm sure the liquidity will be kept surplus going forward.
It will be kept surplus, but I think what Surabhi is asking is how much of bond purchase expectations can you have? RBI is buying dollars till its face is blue. Today it will have to announce a dividend, and chances are that will also be substantial. If you're already creating money in all these ways, isn't the space for buying bonds declining, right?
So yeah, you are right, Lata. But then we have seen that RBI has done nearly $12-13 billion of intervention in the spot market over the last couple of months. But they have also been reasonably, diluting that by paying in the forward market and postponing the liquidity. So maybe that is creating the space for a little bit of OMO intervention. But forget the liquidity aspect for the time being. I think the market desperately needs demand side management measures, which I have been speaking to you in the earlier interview also, that unless RBI comes out with OMO hikes, HTM hikes and OMO announcements, I think the bond yields are going to be slowly creeping up. So like you said, as we speak now, the yields are already at 594, 595, And if we don't see RBI coming out with some kind of a OMO announcement or a operation twist today or tomorrow, we would probably see it the new 10-year also crossing 6%. So there is actually a lot of different views in the market whether we are going to see a bearish steepening or a bearish flattening. And that will, but I think most of the people agree that it's going to be a bearish period for bonds, depending upon how RBI acts on the demand side. Also because of the fact that the rate cut, expectations are going to get taken away. Also remember that the reverse repo rate cut, which is the operating rate for the government bond market, will possibly, you can't expect any more cuts in the reverse repo also, which is far more important for the market. So no cut in reverse repo will actually mean that the short end actually gets sold off a little. And no OMO or a HTM hike will actually mean the long end will get sold off. So depending upon how RBI acts and balances it out, I think we'll have to take a call on the yield curve.
But what are your bets? 6% on the new 10-year? What will be your range from now to December? It's a long time.
So actually, Lata, RBI holds all the cards. So if on your own, our house expectation is for RBI to do a open market operation of 4 lakh crores in the second half of this financial year. That is roughly maybe 75% of the incremental supply that is hitting the market this year. Now, if they don't do it, obviously every Friday you're going to see auctions, and every Friday you're going to see yields going up. Now, so far, market has been very well behaved. In fact, we all had concerns about whether yields will go down when there is so much of supply, but yields have actually not gone up, and actually have fallen down on the long end, because there is always a hope that RBI will come and do something, and that hope continues. Even today, the reaction today in the bond market is not probably the full impact of what it deserves to be done, because people expect RBI to come out with either a OT or a HTM hike very soon, or a OMO purchase. So it all depends on RBI.
No, I agree with you. In the previous cycle, remember 2003 to 2007, we used to think that no matter what, there's Greenspan. So now it is like no matter what, there is RBI.
No, but Lata, let me add that the repo rate to the 10-year yield spread is quite attractive right now. So it requires is some kind of demand management thing to get the banks back. Because see, what banks have been doing is they are using this liquidity to buy more and more of short-end bonds, because they want to reduce the market risk recognition in their balance sheet also. So I think that's the reason why I'm saying that both OMO and HTM hike is very, very important.
Okay, all right. I think that clarion call would be heard. What about dividend? What is the math today?
So we expect around 70,000 crores of dividend to be paid out. That adds to the liquidity. Okay. And also very quickly on the dollar rupee.
I was going to come to that. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, rupee was in a sweet spot over the last one or 2 months because of the heavy amount of flows, and also the fact that the dollar index has actually fallen by a phenomenal 8% over the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. This kind of a move we haven't seen in a long time in the USD space, and that's a lot of it is possibly because of the fact that they have not really handled the infection growth properly. There is a lot of scale back of expectation of the US growth and all that. So I think from a dollar perspective, it's a sweet spot for the rupee, because dollar is weak against developed markets at least, not necessarily so much against emerging markets. But what this yesterday's inflation reading has done is to put the spotlight back on our domestic macro woes, and where I think the negative real rate is quite on the higher side now. Yes. If you have to look at current inflation. Absolutely. And the only hope is we look at the expected inflation and hope that inflation really comes down. So that's the only thing which is, keeping the rupee still firm.
Yeah. So what is your rupee range? Or is it like bonds, everything, all the cards are with RBI?
No, I think it will be a 74.5 to 75.5 kind of a range. I think it's still a range-bound market. Yes. And because nobody expects inflation to run away despite this reading yesterday. So a lot of us, in our heart of hearts, we still believe quarter 4 to be at 4% or 4.25, and then quarter 1 next financial year to be even lower. So I think that we have to see that in core inflation, and we have to see that in the aggregate demand destruction, because on one part growth is really falling off. Inflation is really not, even core inflation is not falling down.
No,
so we want to see that happening.
Yeah. Fair point, Prasanna. Thank you very much indeed for joining us with your thoughts on a range of issues. both bond as well as FX market. Take your point. I mean, it's an unstable situation to have demand completely destroyed and prices rising. I mean, if nobody is able to demand goods and services, why are the prices rising? So you can't remain in this state of instability for too long, I would assume.
The bank stocks have been hearing your and Prasada's conversation very carefully, because from that increase of about 0.5% on the bank nifty, now the bank nifty is actually negative, and there's some pressure on banking stocks. Good rising yields is never good news, obviously, for financials, and that's playing out as we speak. And on that note, we do have to take your leave on this edition of Bazaar, but stay tuned. Lots of trading ideas coming up next on Chartbusters.